I am one with my glorious I Am presence and Holy Christ Self. My personalities, body elemental, and new spirit. All parts of my being are in balance, harmony, and alignment. I pull in my aura so that it is fully contained within my heart diamond and within Metatron's cosmic egg. I am now ready to receive today's message. Greetings, beloveds. What a joy it is to behold each and every one of you as you resonate more and more with the frequencies of these videos. I see you opening your hearts and your minds. I see the efforts that you are making to connect with your own divine I Am presence, to follow it, to obey it, to feel it, in order that you might become your true self in this material world and in all worlds. For once you have achieved this connection here, on the physical earth, you will maintain this connection throughout all dimensions and all universes that you will be granted admittance to at some point along your path. A life of endless possibilities awaits you. But the first step along the path of infinity is to become your true self. It is to be united at one with your own glorious I Am presence, or divine self, or your monad. These are all different names given by different traditions to describe one truth. It matters not what tradition you follow, beloveds. What matters is that you make the connection and then allow the fullness of that being that you are to take control and dominance over all of the other aspects that you are. This means the physical, the emotional, the mental, and all the various spiritual bodies that you have or will incarnate. Remember that your I Am presence exists beyond all time and is present in all space. It is not limited by any individuality. It is, always has been, and always will be part of the great oneness that is life. And so, in order to have the doors of all temples and all dimensions thrown wide open to you. You must be one with your I Am presence. Until that time, your ability to enter certain dimensions and certain etheric temples, and even temples, for example, within the subterranean cities or the inner earth, will be limited by the amount of light and love that you are able to express. Once the connection is fully made, or the union fully attained with your I Am presence, then it is known throughout creation that you have attained this level, and you are then granted free access to all of these places. For it is known that you only bring in pure light and pure unconditional love. Until that time, certain places and dimensions will not allow your presence, because that is how they maintain their protection against negative energies that you may bring with you until you have reached this high level of attainment. Some of you can be granted temporary access to certain places if you are within the enfoldment of an ascended master or certain angels and archangels. They can act as a guarantor, as it were, of your presence. They can enfold you in their own energy fields, which will not allow any negative energies, such as fear, to extend beyond their own auric field. So that while you are visiting such places that would normally be beyond your reach, if you should experience a momentary fear or judgment, that energy would be contained within their fields and would not enter into the energetic space that you are visiting. And so no harm would be done to anyone, including yourself. It would be wonderful for you, beloveds, to start visiting these etheric temples and places that you can get into even in your current state, where you can experience healing, where you can see the beauty of these beautiful temples, and where you can experience, to some measure, the work that goes on there. For example, there is a temple that contains a great etheric blue diamond. And around this diamond are many beings whose only job is to feed love and light into the diamond. They do this as their spiritual service. They do it on a daily basis for a certain amount of time, and then they are replaced by others who also do the same work. They may choose to do this for many years of their life, or they may choose to do it for a short period of their life. But in these temples, there is much wonderful healing work taking place. All of your chakras need to be healed and whole and functioning perfectly in order for your ascension to take place. There are etheric temples associated with all of the rays that exist, and that are they themselves associated with different chakras. There are ascended masters associated with these rays and temples. There are also angels and archangels who work as twin flame couples and who are devoted to one particular temple. They also have their own etheric retreats. That is, temples or etheric spaces where they have their homes, their gardens, where they can receive visitors, such as you, and where they live their lives in a dimension that is just as material to them as this third dimension is to you, but it remains at most times invisible, at least to your physical eyes. In meditation, you can see and visit these places. So if you are at all interested in this type of work, I would suggest that you obtain the book called The 7 Sacred Flames by Aurelia Louise Jones. In this book, she gives much information about the 7 sacred flames and the temples that once existed during the time of Lemuria on the physical planet, and they were physical temples. And each of the temples housed a flame, and there were many thousands of them. Now, there are still such temples in Telos and within the temples of the inner earth. And she gives at the end of each chapter a guided meditation that you can follow in order to begin to have experiences in these temples. Christmas started doing this some years ago and was eventually granted free access to the temples, where she no longer needed to be accompanied by an angel or an ascended master. She was also invited by several of the ascended masters to their retreats that she had not read about in the book. But once the ascended masters see you going to these temples, they are free to invite you to their etheric homes if they so choose. Some of them may even take you under their wing, as it were, and invite you to be a disciple. Many of them will simply recognize you from the experiences that you have had with them in past lives, and will see that you are now ready in this life to continue your work with them. So a host of wonderful beings is waiting to receive you. A multitude of magnificent experiences is awaiting you. All you need do is open yourselves and make yourselves available to have these experiences. And the book, The 7 Sacred Flames, can provide you with excellent guidance and direction as to how to have these experiences. Also, if you are interested, the 3rd book in her series, which is called Telos, offers a guide with protocols for living in the 5th dimension. In the ascended state, you will be living in the 5th dimension. But there is much preparation to do, beloveds, in order to be able to live permanently in that state. As you follow these videos, much guidance and assistance will be given to you. But in addition to these videos, there is much wonderful information out there that is already available to you. And Aurelia Louise Jones's books are one of them. So you might want to look into it, beloveds. Either way, please continue the work with your I Am presence. You need no book. You need nothing outside of yourself to do that, including these videos. All you need to do is to close your eyes, go within, and ask your I Am presence to reveal itself to you. Then have the patience to listen, the willingness to obey, and the heart and perseverance to follow through and to continue on your path. I thank you for all that you do, beloveds. I love you and I bless you. I am Metatron.